Kellie Martin is sitting down. We know her as the actress, but now we're getting to meet the author, Kellie Martin. She's written her first novel. It's Madam, and this is actually is a novel of New Orleans.
Yes.
This is a woman back in the early 1900s who
she's in the world's oldest profession.
Yes.
And she becomes the most powerful madam in New Orleans at the turn of the century, at a time when women couldn't vote or really have a job at all. She basically ended up running the town.
How do you write about this and keep it a PG sort of 13?
I think the thing that attracted me so much to this story was how incredible this woman was. I mean, she came from nothing, and she basically scrounged her way up to becoming this, this madam and this powerful woman.
You're talking about a real person, because you write historical fiction, but this is a woman who was real. So you did a lot of research on it. But I love, may we show the cover?
Yeah, this is the cover.
I was fascinated. The first thing I did when I saw this was I said, what an interesting woman. And I understand that you saw this picture of her, and that's what inspired you to write this.
Of course, Mark. I was inspired by a photograph.
Of course you were. We share the interest of photography.
Yes.
I saw this, but what pulled you in? Because I'm curious if it's the same.
I mean, it really was this woman. I saw this photograph when I was in college in a history of photography class. My professor put it up on the wall, and I was like, who is that? And there was just something, I knew she worked in a bordello, I knew what she did, but there was something so powerful about her and so self-assured. She was so comfortable in her own skin, and I kind of made a mental note I was going to find out about her. And that led me to this world of Storyville, which was the first legalized red light district in the United States. And only 8 years later, like the book, there it is in a book form.
Why did it take you so long to finish it? Was there a lot of research that you did? Because not only this woman, you have other interesting characters in here that were real.
Jelly Roll Morton is a character. Louis Armstrong's in this. So Storyville basically was also the birth of jazz. So Louis Armstrong's a little boy shoveling coal and like bringing it into where these women were working, and Jelly Roll Morton played in the brothels. So that was also really interesting to me. And yes, it took a ton of research, but I did lots of stuff in between the time. I'd go do an acting gig, have a baby,
do a Hallmark movie,
keep writing, kind of, that kind of stuff. But it was one of those stories that I just felt had to be told. And what's funny too is it finally got published, and that seemed like such a strange thing to me. I think I would have been perfectly happy to just keep writing and writing and writing and writing and writing, because it was very satisfying.
When you started putting pen to paper, or keystroke, I guess you can say pen to paper, it still makes sense these days. Did you start off with this sort of feminist viewpoint storytelling that you wanted, or that this sort of ended up being?
I mean, it wasn't that conscious, but I think I'm so interested in strong women, and especially someone who comes from nothing and has no education and becomes this powerhouse.
Right.
So I think I just love women like that, and I think that is what attracted me to this story. And I just, there's just a place in my heart for someone like this, and I just felt like her story had to be told, because so many of these people were very nameless at that time, you know. But
in fact, they burned everything to the ground.
They did. When Storyville was closed, they burned it.
As if they were trying to erase the past.
Which is surprising for New Orleans, because New Orleans is a place that really embraces their history and the corruption and the color and all of the things that make New Orleans New Orleans.
Well, you have a lot of photographs in here too that are original photographs, and I understand you went to the library as well. And you had to really beg them to be able to use these photos.
Yeah, these are all. Most of the photos are from the New Orleans Public Library, and so they are photos from the time, mostly by anonymous photographers. So it was so much fun to go digging around, and we thought that it would really give the reader something to hang their hat on, to really kind of put themselves in that place. So each chapter has a photograph from the period.
Yeah, very visual. Let's talk a little bit about what's in front of us, because every time you come here, I'm reminded of the most awesomest toy that everybody grew up with, which is the slingshot, which I demoed here and actually took out a window in the house back in the day.
He did. That was a good moment, Mark.
It was,
I liked that.
Well, define good. I'm not sure. But how's the store going, and how are these toys thriving?
It's great. I mean, I love spring because it's all of a sudden, my store pops with color. This is for you. I wanted you to try this.
Okay.
We can't listen.
Oh yeah. Well, we'll try it after.
We'll try it after, because the tram is going by.
For those who don't know, just see if I got my memory down. This store was about classic toys. There was a brick and mortar that went out of business.
Yes.
And you believe so passionately about the importance of these types of toys that you went out and said, no, I'm going to get this and keep it going.
Exactly. I'm an unplugged mom. I want my daughter to be surrounded by natural toys, no batteries, no plastic. I want her.
No iPhones, no iPads,
no iPhones, no iPads. It's off limits in our house. So I wanted my daughter to have, you know, things when she was a little baby that she could put in her mouth, and it would be completely safe for her. But now, like this rainbow, actually,
I love that rainbow.
she got it when she was 8 months old, and she still, to this day, makes sculptures with it. They're just a lot more complicated. So this whole thing comes apart. And I just love open-ended toys that go from 8 months to 7 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, she truly plays with these things.
I played with this.
She's 7.
She's 7 now.
I played with it. Listen to this. I'm
Listen,
going
you
to try to
gotta
put over
listen.
by my mic. Okay, ready?
Did you hear the little whistling?
Here, listen.
They can't hear it in the
See,
back.
it's so charming.
It's called a spirelli, and it's just one of those magical little things that you give this to a kid, they are occupied for an hour trying to figure out how this works. And there's no bells and whistles. I mean, it's
just a little whistle
and wholesome.
There's a
Yes,
little whistle
it
in there.
makes a whistle eventually.
charming.
but-
Kids aren't the only ones occupied for hours.
Exactly. You should put this on your desk in the office when you're getting super stressed out. And then I brought some Eastery things. This little handmade bunny my daughter is obsessed with, and these little bunnies in here hop out of their little bunny hutch, and this is a little puzzle. These pieces come out, and this is a little stacker, and this is a little stacker.
They're so whimsical. I love this.
This floats.
Look at that. I was
This
just
is
saying I
like-
want to put it in my tubby and float with it.
This is like, there actually is a great tub toy rather than those plastic things that you put in kids' tubs. Put this, you know, beautiful little branch, you know,
Huck Sawyer.
Tom Sawyer. It's like Tom Sawyer. And
And Huckleberry Finn. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
I don't think you're not going to go to a store and find this. By the way, we may be able to make this in our DIY segment, but I don't want to take.
I
it
think
the
you guys
business way,
should
but
make
that
this.
would be a fun.
But everything
I
is
love him.
handmade and relatively wholesome, which is, I think, what childhood is about, is being wholesome and having fun and keeping it pure for your kids as long as you possibly can. So.
All right, so another 8 years, we should expect you back with your second book.
Yeah, exactly. Just 8 years.
Oh, you got it down now. It won't take you that long.
I hope.
Go pick up Kellie's book, madam. It's available wherever fine books are sold. And go to rompstore.com. I love this idea. I wish I knew more. My kids are a little bit past this age now, but it would have been so great for them to play with these.